Welcome back to Madison. Dock Spiders on top of the Mallards 3-2. And as I mentioned, I have a very special guest up here in the booth with me, Tim Dillard, former Milwaukee Brewers pitcher and now a member of the Bally Sports Wisconsin TV crew. Tim, thank you so much for joining me here.
Yeah, this is awesome. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll try not to yell.
Well, Tim, you are here enjoying your first ever Madison Mallards game. What are your kind of first impressions?
This is awesome. I can't believe how many people actually recognize me. It's really cool. I've been talking pitching stuff a little bit. I've been talking about bobbleheads a good bit, free food in the duck blind. That's actually quite awesome. I've already had some chicken nuggets, a hot dog, and a cheeseburger, but yeah, it's the third inning.
Yeah.
It's still early.
Plenty of baseball left to be played. Ryan Lasko at the plate for Fond du Lac. And yeah, you're in the duck blind tonight, which is kind of our feature here at the duck pond. Free food, free drinks.
Yeah,
and
it is.
It's usually a packed house over there, so it's been fun interacting with the people out there.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out like how far we can go because we're starting to travel to different decks, and there's like a side deck, and I don't know. I'm just going to keep walking around like I don't know what I'm doing, and then usually people can direct me on which way to go.
That's how it goes a lot of times.
Yeah. No, this is great.
It's a good time over there for sure.
I need one of those inflatable bats. I've seen a couple of little kids with those inflatable bats. Looks like you can hit people, and they seem to be okay. So I'm going to walk out of here with one of those as well.
Yeah, you'll have to take a trip to our team store here. Plenty of good stuff down there.
What's the team store called?
The Paul Davis team store.
Oh, okay. I thought
right here.
No, I saw it. I thought you would name it like a lily pad or something like duck
That's
related.
That's a good idea. I'll relay that.
Yeah. Thought you were going to hit me with something.
But Tim, I'm from Madison. I'm a big Brewers fan, so I like to give Brewers updates on our webcast here throughout the season. So I've been very excited to talk to you about this year's Brewers team. Obviously, you've been following them all year. You've been around the team, and they're a first-place team, very fun to watch right now. So what has it been like covering this team this year?
It's awesome. They actually they pay me to follow the team. I mean, I would anyway. Don't get me wrong. But they're an exciting club. I mean, they really are. I met Willie Adames a couple days ago, the shortstop that they picked up from the Rays. He's only been there since May 22nd. I also talked to David Stearns. I told him he won the trade deadline across baseball back on May 22nd when he got Adames. But before I could introduce myself, he said he already knew who I was. He's giving me a hug. And I just had to stop him and say, listen, man, I think you're the most exciting player I've ever seen live. Like, he is such an exciting player to watch. And then you start taking a step back. You look at this team in general with the Brewers, and they're just exciting. They're you got guys diving all over the place. You got so many unique pitchers. You got 3 possible Cy Young contenders. Of course, Josh Hader at the back of the bullpen. So, I mean, you're looking at this team and the makeup, and they're just fun to watch. And to me, that's how I grade baseball. They're just exciting to watch.
Absolutely. I mean, that Willie Adames trade is the biggest move, really, in all of baseball, not just Milwaukee this year, just flip of a switch and the energy he provides. And you mentioned you just got to meet him. Was that because of kind of the COVID restrictions still with you guys?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, they're just now letting us like get on the field where we can actually have access and talk to some of the guys. And oh, there's a ball.
Manthe swings and drives it.
Oh, my car.
To left. We'll see if it's fair or foul, and it looks like he's going to have to turn around and come back.
Oh, good. My car's parked out there. Looks like I was a little further away than that ball, but not by much.
Well, the last one they hit certainly went far. I believe that the home run by Tremblay got out to the parking lot, but a couple home runs for here. Power on display.
Yeah, right? One of them hit the top of the wall. What do you got on that?
It was close.
I don't know the rules, but it hit the top of the wall and came back in, but the umpire at third base was very adamant about calling that a home run. I was sitting just off to the side in foul territory, and he was just running out there going, no, it was a home run. It's like, well, it hit the little plastic thing on the top. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a close call right away to start the ball game tonight on a leadoff home run. Connor Manthe with an even count. But as you mentioned, you have finally been able to interact with some of the players, and this is your first year on the broadcast crew. Bally Sports Wisconsin as strike three call, interrupting my question. We'll get back to you.
Unbelievable. The audacity. Why would he do that?
We'll be right back with more from Tim Dillard. Welcome back to Madison here in the bottom of the third. As you see, the rain's starting to come down a little bit. And we're back with more from Tim Dillard as Bryant Schellenbarger leads off for the Mallards. And Tim, I was asking you before the end of the last inning how this is your first year on the Bally Sports Wisconsin crew as a pre- and post-game analyst. So what has your first year been like, and how have you been enjoying your new role?
Yeah, I didn't even know for sure what it was called. I assumed it was some sort of analytical something, but anyway, I asked questions, and they were like, okay, well, you're the one that's supposed to answer some of these questions. So it's a learning curve. But it's fun. You get to watch baseball and then talk about it, right? Yeah. And what the great thing about baseball is there's so much to talk about. There's so much going on behind the scenes. You got the TV broadcast here, and you can't see everywhere that's, all over the field, what's going on in the bullpens, what's going on in the dugout, the conversations. So that's what I like to follow because there's a lot in those little details. So to kind of get to convey that and kind of share the weird things that pop up in my brain and my career in professional baseball is it's interesting. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And on a personal level, I want to ask you, you work with Sophia Minert, obviously, on the Bally Sports Wisconsin crew. She is an alum of Marquette, and I am as well. And she was actually she's a part of the Marquette Mentors program, so I was able to work with her for an entire year. So I myself learned a lot from her just from the conversations we had. So I wanted to ask you, as somebody who's working with her from this entire year, what have you kind of learned from her, a professional in the industry for a long time now?
Yeah, she's a pro. And I think she's from the area, I heard, right?
She's from Madison.
Oh, yeah, I heard that today. She's great. You start to sit there and see how much you have to retain because she has to keep up with all the updates on what's going on, and I can't do that. I'm not very good at that. I don't even have the resources to look that kind of stuff up, and she's always the first to know. She's always ready for what's next. She always has her microphone nearby in case something happens, and I don't know. She's one of the best out there because she knows what she's doing. And I think a lot of times when people are really good at their job, they make it look really easy. So yep. I know for a fact I've been watching, and I'm like, man, she has like an easy job. It is not easy, and she's just really good at it.
No, yeah, whenever I'm watching Brewers broadcast, whether it's the pre- or post-game show or with Sophia and obviously Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder, I mean, it's an incredible crew.
What a lineup.
They just make it look like it's easy, but I know myself, it's not.
It's not easy.
It's really hard at all.
Yeah. I can't believe they brought me on. I was like, you guys don't have anybody better.
Yeah.
Yeah, me. I'm the one you're going to. No, it is, and I'm learning a lot from everybody involved because, I've been a part of a team dating back to since I can remember, right? Little League, and then in pro ball, I played for 18 seasons. Almost half my life I was in pro ball. I got in at 19. It's kind of all I've ever known. And so now when I retired, I'm thinking, okay, well, I don't really have a team anymore. I don't, I'm not showing up, and we're not going out there as a team and putting something out there on the field. But what I found is that, yes, I'm still part of a team. There are so many people involved when the Bally Sports Wisconsin Network goes out there. Like it's from camera people to producers. The people that I have met, I am still a part of a team, and that's what I love about it because I talked to Brian Anderson about it and Bill Schroeder, and they wanted to bring that to the Brewers. They wanted that camaraderie, that sort of team effort. And so anyway, for me, it's been really easy in that department where I just get to know everybody that's around and hang out with them. And, you get all the inside jokes, and they help me. They help me. Hey, Tim, stop looking at this camera. It's not on anymore. It's this camera. Now, oh, yeah, thanks, Phil. Yeah, so you got these people that you work with, and they're your teammates. And I don't know, they got a really good culture going on.
Absolutely. And, Tim, the Northwoods League is, for a summer baseball league, it's kind of structured like a minor league schedule. These guys are playing every day, over 70 games across a few months, as Tyler Dean pops one up, and that's going to land for a base hit. one down here, a couple runners on for the Mallards. But somebody like yourself who played in the minor leagues a lot, obviously grinded through long seasons, I wanted to ask you kind of what you did to get through those long seasons. And you are obviously very big on social media, so I wanted to ask you about that. You're able to kind of have fun, do like videos and stuff to make people laugh. With your teammates, you did a lot of. So was that kind of a way for you to get through the long season, to just have fun playing baseball?
Yeah, it's very therapeutic, making ridiculous videos with teammates. I love it. But that came later. The minor leagues is really tough. You always hear about the guys that go to the big leagues. What you don't hear is how many guys get in pro ball and, they'll quit because it's a tough life. You don't get paid a lot. It's hard on you physically, spiritually, mentally. You feel drained a lot. And if you don't embrace it, the guys that you're in the clubhouse with as family, because in essence, somebody hit me with this one day on a podcast. They were like, so you spend more time with your teammates than your actual family. And I was like, no, that can't be right. But I'm not very good at math. I started looking at the math. You're with these guys for 6 or 7 months, and you're with your family at home, for less than that time. So you have to get along with the people around you. And to me, that's a metaphor for life. You don't know where you're going to work or who you're going to be in a cubicle with or up in the press box. Thanks for letting me in.
Yeah.
But that kind of stuff, like you don't know who you're going to come in contact with. So how do you get along with those people? Oh, that ball's crushed.
Right at Lofton, the left fielder, for out number 2.
But that's the idea. It's getting through it. And a lot of times the minor leagues gets a bad rap because it's like not where you want to be, right? The fans will be like, oh, you're not in the big leagues, but you're kind of – players feel that. They want to be in the big leagues, but they have to be in the minor leagues because they have no control over that. And it takes a toll on you at times. But for me, if I'm wherever I'm at, that's where I want to be. I can't control anything else. So if I was in the minor leagues, I'm in the bullpen that day, then all I have to do is watch the game, and when I'm called upon, go out there and try to get as many outs as I can. So that's basically it. I simplify it. Stolen base.
Moreno with a great jump. Steals third with 2 down. Risky, but he gets in there in time. Now the tying runs is 90 feet away. And it's a great point you mentioned with your teammates, because obviously we've been able to interact with the guys here in Madison, college athletes, but here spending their summers, a lot of them far away from home. Scannell at the plays all the way from Texas here for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a great point you make about having to get along with these guys and just how important that is to a team dynamic, really at any level of baseball.
Well, for some reason, somewhere, baseball players seem to think, okay, I need to worry about me and my craft only. And if I don't focus solely on me and trying to get to the big leagues or get to the next level, then it won't happen. And I beg to differ. I think it's actually the quite opposite. I was like, the more you focus on yourself, the worse of a time you'll have. You won't have as much fun. You got to focus on the people that are around you and build them up. And it really alleviates the pressure of what you're trying to do on the field, because baseball is hard. One thing I love about covering the Brewers, I get to watch all these interviews. Christian Yelich, Brandon Woodruff, Corbin Burns, all these guys, all-stars, the pinnacle of their game. And one of the first things they always say in the presser is they're like, baseball's a hard game. And you have to run everything through that filter. And that's what I do on the show. We'll sit there and be like, okay, let's address this error. And I'm like, yeah, he made an error, but let's just go ahead and say baseball's hard, man. Yeah, baseball's hard. And if you're trying to do it by yourself or think that you're by yourself, it's one or two things. Because being in the minor leagues, as long as I have, we have different theme nights. That's a big deal. And I said, number one, it's either Harry Potter night or that guy's got some really cool glasses. So I didn't want to commit either way until I saw somebody dressed up completely and had the magic wand. And I was like, oh, okay. Or maybe they were just sporting a robe and a wand, which is okay. I got no beef with that.
Looks like Shingledecker needed something to chop the dirt off of the bottom of his cleats.
What you don't know is that tongue depressors, if put together and taped, can be really good at getting mud off the bottom of your shoe.
There you go.
There it is. That's actually quite hard. So a lot of times they put one of those things on the back of the mound where you can scrape your foot off on it. But even that thing gets filled up a lot of times. So you got to go to what really works. It looked like it broke, though.
He's doing what he can. Looks like the rain slowed down, but Shingledecker trying to get ready. Bases loaded with 2 down for Amory. And Dillard, as you mentioned, playoff run, it looks like, coming up for the Brewers. Big lead. What are you most excited for come late September and October for Brewers baseball?
Yeah, I love just watching good baseball. That's one thing that the Brewers have done, probably the most consistent I've ever seen. They're just going out there, they're limiting mistakes and playing good baseball. So that's really, in essence, what baseball is when it comes to the playoffs. It's the most teams that are playing good baseball. And what does that look like? That's fundamentals. That's everyone doing really well at their job. That's where you see the best bullpens. You see the best guys off the bench. You see the best lineups. So for me, I love baseball. That's why I'm here today. That, and you gave me one of these Warner the Wiener bobbleheads that I missed a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I enjoy watching baseball because if you pay attention, you're going to see something you've never seen before.
Amory fouls that off, and yeah, you're on an off day on your busy Brewers schedule. You came all the way here to Madison to see a Mallards game, and why not?
Yeah, busy. That's relative. I was at the game yesterday. I was up in the press box, kind of watching everything go down, and a guy messaged me on Twitter and was like, hey, we're in suite, 214. Like, why don't you come hang out? So I was like, okay. Way better than studying. So I went down there, and it was right when Rowdy Tellez was coming up to the plate, and they bring in a lefty. So go back 2 days. I spoke with Rowdy Tellez on the field because I look back at his numbers because I'm supposed to, right? And he hits lefties really well. And so I kind of dove into that, asked him about it, and turns out he grew up. His coach, his mentor that always threw him batting practice growing up was left-handed. So he said, every time I ever took batting practice, I'm hitting off a left-handed pitcher. And Rowdy being a big left-handed swinger, you would think, oh, well, you want him to face righties more.
Yeah.
But he hits lefties just as good or better. He gave me the reason why. He talks about how he feels comfortable. He doesn't bail. He knows the angles on the pitches coming in and what he has to do to keep a ball fair. Anyway, all that to say, the dude hits after 7 pitches, at 6 pitches, he hit the 7th pitch for a home run to win that game. And anyway, the guys I was in the booth with, in the suite or whatever, they said, you look like a genius because you just told us. Because I said, if he does something great right here, y'all are going to talk about this forever. So I'm glad I was right. And when I saw David Stearns in the parking lot leaving, I said, you must feel really good about getting another win. He said, I feel good every time we make a trade, and that player does good because it's a big sigh of relief, and it's just one less thing to worry about. So I think they got some really good players. So I can't wait to see them play even more.
No, that's great insight, and that's the stuff you get when you're able to chat with the players before the game and hang out with them.
Even when I'm not working, I have a multi-pass that they gave me, and they may start taking it back on days I'm not supposed to work. But I'll just show up, man. It's a big league game. Why would you not go to a game? Free tickets. You got me free tickets here today. I'm here, man. This is great. And if you're at the game, message me, and we'll hang out.
Sounds great. And yeah, that's something we've learned here this summer. Just baseball players are fun people to talk to. I mean, they're here just trying to play baseball, get better, and have fun. And we're here to broadcast baseball and have fun. And it's a great combination to try to learn new things about new people, and that's how you get great stories like that.
Yeah,
Michael Furman coming to the plate with 2 down, and the base is loaded.
In a tie ball game, no pressure. Feel that? That's pressure. Oh.
He fouls off the first pitch. So, Tim, you were able to obviously your main role is normally the pre- and post-game show, typically with Dario Melendez, Craig Kashan, who are both fantastic. But you were able to get up in the booth this year and actually call games as a color commentator. What was that like for you?
Very scary. Very scary. First day I did it, I was with Brian Anderson. We went to commercial, and he looked at me and said, where's all your stuff? I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, you don't have a computer or an iPad? All I have is a piece of paper about the size of your lineup card here. I just had some notes written down. He was like, he goes, Dilly, you need to do a little bit more than that. You need to be prepared. Because he'd be like, what do you got on this pitcher coming in from the bullpen? I'm like, for the other team, I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. Yeah. And I was like, he seems to be right-handish a little bit. Probably throws a fastball. And so anyway, BA was like, you got to get a little bit more organized. So that's what I've been doing. Ooh.
0-2 pitch, ripped foul. And BA is a great one to learn from, though. Absolutely. One of the best in the business.
He is, across multiple sports, too. I don't know how he does it.
So that's why you hear a lot of different voices on the Brewers broadcast. He's so busy all the time going to NBA, calling the NCAA tournament. But being from here, I've always found it cool to turn on TNT, a national NBA game, and be like, hey, that's the Brewers guy.
Yeah, what a recognizable voice, too. And he always tells the story. He started in San Antonio up in the booth, just like you're doing right here. And I think he was actually like a ticket taker and stuff like that before he was got into the booth. But everyone has a story, man. I just kind of stumbled into it randomly. I was playing for the Milkmen in Franklin in the American Association just because all of minor league baseball was canceled last year. So I found myself in independent ball, and that kind of led to filling in for Rock. When the Brewers played the Reds, they said, hey, you're in Milwaukee according to your social media. Will you come over here and call a game? And I was like, is this a prank phone call?
Yeah.
Who is this? Yeah. Yeah, I don't believe you. That seems too good to be true. But that's kind of – I guess I did good enough on that where they were like, okay, we'll look for you at pre- and post-game and then for the chance to be in the booth. And I'm actually in the booth coming up the next 3 games against the Giants, which is – Giants are –
big game.
Hey, if you go straight on standings, Giants are the best team in the game right now.
Yeah. Our big games for the National League standings. Brewers in contention for 1 seed, best record. Well, I don't know. What do you think about that? Because theoretically they're fighting. They want the 1 seed to have home field advantage, but with how it's stacking up with the NL West, Dodgers potentially, Giants. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, our producer for the game, he was texting me earlier today when I was eating. I talked to Craig Kashan, who lives here, and he was telling me where to go eat. And I went to Pasquale's, the Tex-Mex place. It was really good. So I sat there for a couple hours trying to study up for tomorrow. And I got a text from our producer, was asking what I wanted to talk about when it came with the Giants and the Brewers. And honestly, I was looking into it. From a baseball player standpoint, they don't really care about standings and things like that because they have a game every day.
Too much to worry about.
I would say if you asked half the guys on the team for the Brewers, like, hey, what's y'all's record? They wouldn't be able to tell you. But as a fan, as a broadcaster, like that's our whole jam, right? That's how we measure everything. So when you start looking long term, speaking of long term,
Furman rips it out to right. It's going to be caught.
Well, what you like is this is a snapshot of what's coming in the playoffs, and we're getting it now here in August, early August. It's a great time.
Absolutely. Well, Tim, thank you so much for joining me here in the booth. I really appreciate you. Good luck calling the games against the Giants.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back here on the Northwoods League Baseball Network.